Did anyone tell Destiny there's a new PSU testing standard? The 80 cert is old and going out. Cybernetics is the new certification. Wait, is that true? Cybernetics PSU certification.
Hey, buddy, real quick on the offices thing. So the OMB is part of the executive office of the presidency. So it's like,
So it's an inferior office.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it's all agencies that's under that guy reports to the White House chief of staff. Whereas, like,
wait, so would that be a cabinet member? I thought cabinet was only head officers.
So typically it's reserved for, attorney general, director of homeland security, things like that. But you also have the White House chief of staff. You have national security advisor. People like the national security advisor doesn't run a department. So it's basically mostly for the big top executive agency dogs. Like
is the NSA, that's under the DHS now, right? Or is that under...
It would be either, I think it's under the Department of Homeland Security or the Justice Department.
Oh, no, it's under the...
Oh, Department of Defense?
DOD. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Yeah, so, and looking at how all of these things are constructed, I can understand more now, like pre 9/11 and even post 9/11, why... Well, you even saw it actually with the Secret Service shit. Why the communication with this is a little bit of a clusterfuck. Because prior to knowing anything about government, I just kind of assumed like, oh yeah, the FBI, the NSA, they're all like they're all like the government. But now I see like how separated a lot of these entities are. It seems kind of clusterfucky. Yeah. Okay. Well, who is? Yeah. So when you say the president's cabinet, which officers and inferior officers does this refer to? President's cabinet.
So you'd have the vice president, you'd have the White House chief of staff, national security advisor, secretary of defense, attorney general, secretary of the treasury, secretary of commerce. You know, it's basically like, I think 3 or 4 dozen people.
Okay. There are 26 members, the vice president, 15 department heads, and 10 cabinet level officials. Are cabinet level officials, does that just mean these are your inferior officers like...
Yeah, so the White House chief of staff is kind of my go-to. He is a cabinet level official, but he doesn't actually command like the Department of Defense or, you know, the Department of the Treasury or anything like that.
Sure. I'm sorry, hold on real quick. Destiny, you retard, what do you think separation of powers meant? Separation of powers is referring to the concept of separating the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. You retarded dipshit. Get civics fucked. Okay, sorry.
Wait, what the hell was he saying the separation of powers had to do with this?
Because I said I didn't realize how separated out everything was, and he's just assuming like all the government is separated, but I'm talking about specifically the executive branch and how separated it is. When something is a cabinet level position, who says who? Why is it? Why is it? No, but I mean, like, why? What makes something a cabinet level official? There's not like there's not an actual cabinet, like the office of cabinetry. Like it's just people are like, oh,
there is a cabinet secretary. But yeah. So
wait, is there?
Yeah.
What cabinet secretary, president? The White House cabinet secretary is a hiring position within the executive office of the President of the United States. Is that's separate from the White House, from the office of the White House, right?
No, so the executive office of the president is basically, you know, they use like metonyms and synecdoche. Like when they refer to the White House, they're referring to the executive office of the president.
Wait, what the fuck? Metonyms and synecdoche?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it is, but you know how like when they say like Hitler invaded Poland, but he was never actually in Poland. He was in Berlin, I think, at the time that the Wehrmacht invaded. Like, you know how like they use these shorthands to refer to like overall complex organizations. They do it with like the White House. So when they say the White House has responded, they're not referring obviously to the building. They're referring to the executive office of the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this person belongs to the cabinet secretary is in the executive office of the president. So
okay, I was just asking. There's
the White House chief of staff.
The head of the executive office of the president is the
chief of staff.
Yes. Okay. So this is the same thing. This is like the office of the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The executive office of the president, because I've also heard that referred to as the White House office as well. I feel like I've heard that before. The White House chief of staff, the executive office of the president, chief of staff. Okay. These are the same thing. Okay. All right. Wait. So the cabinet, hold on. Oof. All right. Okay, so the vice president, the vice president isn't formally the head of anything besides the Senate.
Senate,
right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's it.
And even at that point, I mean, they have a Senate president pro temp because they basically have. Over time, the vice president has effectively evolved into much more of an executive branch official, whereas at the time of the founding, they were supposed to have a foot in both worlds. That was another form of checks and balances. But now, basically, the vice president only goes in for, like States of the Union or to cast tie-breaking votes if such things are needed.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, they stick with the president.
Okay. The Secretary of State is the head of the Department of State, which we call the State Department for some reason. Why do we the State Department, that exists as its own, that's not under the DOJ, right? That's its own department, its own office, right?
Yeah. It's a co-equal department alongside the Department of Justice, Treasury, Defense.
So why is it called the Department of State instead of the Office of State? Tell me.
So office, my understanding is from college that office is smaller than department. Department is like a bigger, like there are offices, I believe, within each of the major departments. So the Justice Department, Defense Department, State Department, Treasury Department, like they each have their own constituent offices.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'm just because I think
I'm not talking about physical location, just to say.
No, I understand.
Office, yeah.
I think in the Constitution, where's the president? Is the president Article
2?
2. Okay. In the Constitution, it talks about creating offices, and then it talks about him appointing officers.
Yeah.
But
I think
for some, instead of making it an office, we call it a department. It just seems unnecessarily complicated. Why?
Hit Control F because I want to say I thought department was mentioned in the Constitution.
No, it's not going to be in here. If it is, then fuck you. But hold on. It's not. Hold on. It's not going to be. Fuck! Okay, the principal officer in each of the executive departments or the heads of departments. Okay, it is in here. I wonder if they use this interchangeably. He may require the opinion writing of the principal officer in each of the executive departments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it seems like they say, okay, so they do offices and departments.
Yeah, I don't think there's any sort of like, if you look at the articles of the Constitution, at least, I mean, maybe amendments kind of delineate between them. But yeah, it's kind of like terms of art that they use interchangeably because the Secretary of State is an officer.
Yes.
Who heads the department.
Yes. Yeah. He should be, yeah. I guess it's annoying because the structure and the idea behind a lot of this stuff makes a lot of sense. It makes sense that when the president comes in, okay, right, we understand that in a perfect world, every single thing the executive branch is supposed to do, every single FBI arrest, every single court case, the president ideally could do all of it on his own. But realistically, he can't, right? One man can't. So he has offices to help him. I feel like if the naming scheme was just more consistent on everything, it would be a little bit more visible to the public, like what's happening. But it's so fucking confusing.
Well, it's interesting too.
Wait. He's called, hold on. Lloyd Austin is the Secretary of Defense. Mm-hmm. But it's the Department of Defense. Mm-hmm. So why is he called? Okay, but then look at Merrick Garland. He's our Attorney General, but it's the Department of Justice. Why there's no consistent naming scheme.
Yeah, there's no consistent naming structure either.
Wait, there's not. We have it's the Office of the Treasury, right? It's not the Department of Treasury, right?
No, it's Department of Treasury.
Is it?
Department
okay.
of State, Department of Treasury, Department of Defense, Justice Department. You have Department of Commerce, Department of the Interior. Oh
wait. Maybe there is. Wait. What's an office? Name something called an office.
The Executive Office of the Presidency would be one. The Office of Management and Budget, which was kind of the thing that got you down this rabbit hole, that Russ Vought guy.
Is it the... Oh, wait, hold on. I've cracked the code, maybe. No. Wait, National Intelligence. Wait, this should be an office, right? Is it? Is it the ONI or is it the DNI? No, it sounds like I think it's the DNI, isn't it?
DNI is the title, Director of National Intelligence. But I can't remember what the office is.
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Hey, just to give you an example real quick, the Office of Foreign Aid, which coordinates foreign aid that we give to other governments and other organizations and stuff, is under the Department of State. It's one of the offices that ultimately answers to or is subjugated to the Department of State, and that's a good way of thinking about it.
Wait, what?
So departments and offices, right? There are multiple offices under a department.
Well, yeah, no, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that there are some things where the top thing is called an office, and it's not just called the department.
Yes.
That's just confusing.
Some of it is legacy. It is, but some of it is also legacy stuff that just comes back to like how all old things or institutions might be. That's all.
Okay. Okay, wait,
Yeah,
look. Okay, wait, look. So if you're a director, I think a director is in an office. Look, because this director of national intelligence,
Yes.
she is that's the office of the director of national intelligence. So
yeah, you would not be the secretary of an office.
Yeah,
like
you're a director.
You're a secretary of a
the
department. Okay.
Yeah, you're not the secretary of the Office of Homeland Security. You're the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. That's basically a good rule of thumb. If it's got secretary in front of it, you're the head of a department.
Yeah, unless it's something like the Attorney General, which is the head of the Department of Justice. But
Right.
it's a legacy title that, calls back to the founding of the country. So some of it is just the way that we've named things. We keep them for tradition's sake, and then we try and keep this, especially for newer stuff, this kind of naming scheme consistent, although it is not always consistent.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Jesus.
What you Jesus-ing about?
It's annoying how confusing the naming scheme is. Okay, wait. So what makes you be like in the cabinet? What would be a cabinet level position? Like, why would somebody say? Don't just say, well, these are the cabinet level positions. I'm saying, let's say that a new office is created and then a new interior or inferior office is created under that office. What would make that a cabinet level position? Or like, who decides? Why is it just we've decided?
It would be the president based on what's considered like the needs of the cabinet or how valuable that person is.
No, stop! Don't you? I'm saying what determines that it's a cabinet. I make a new office. This is called the Office of Jerkoff. Okay, and now you've got like a head of this office. Would that be a cabinet? How would you decide if it's a cabinet level?
I don't unless it's an executive branch department, like any sort of like office that you create, it would be purely up to the pleasure of the president. I don't think that there would.
Well, I don't think that's true because
arbitrary.
the people who get the offices all have to be created by Congress, right? Or the Constitution. There are a few that are created by the Constitution. Every other office is created by
They have to-
Congress.
It has to eventually get congressional approval. I think the EPA was created by President Nixon, but then it had to be confirmed by Congress later on.
No, I think Nixon suggested the EPA be created, but Congress has to create it. Like the president on his own can't create an office. It has to be created by Congress. They're the ones that create offices for the legislative branch, and then they can determine, I believe, if the president nominates somebody or how the appointment for the office or whatever works or whatever. But
yeah, but I don't know if there's any sort of if there's any legislation that when Congress either creates or like, hey, the president makes a recommendation and they're like, yeah, sure, let's go with it. I don't know if there's anything in that legislation that says this is going to be cabinet officials.
That's what I'm just curious, like what counts as the cabinet? Because I see even in here, it said that when I read this initially, like the cabinet has, I think like 12 people are confirmed by the Senate and 2 aren't. So there's even like cabinet level officials that don't even get confirmed by the Senate.
The White House chief of staff is kind of that's kind of the ironic one. So the White House chief of staff is effectively the second most powerful person in the federal government because they're effectively the gatekeeper for the president. But they don't have to have cabinet approval. Like if President Bunnell could appoint Pisco to be his White House chief of staff, and there's fuck all that Congress could do about it. So some of these things by federal statute require Senate confirmation and other offices don't. The president's given enormous discretion over who's part of his cabinet. The real question is, could the president decide, you know what, I really don't want the Department of Defense to be part of my cabinet. I can't abolish it, but you can't sit in cabinet meetings anymore. That would be, that I don't know the answer to. because there may be legislation which says this is officially part of the cabinet. But it's kind of a clusterfuck because it's very difficult to determine which ones. Like, it seems like the configuration of the cabinet varies. I'm pretty sure there are some office, like, I don't know if the CIA director has always been a cabinet level position.
They literally have their own room, the cabinet room.
Mm-hmm. Big ass round table or something like that in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh. The cabinet room. There's more than 14 people in here. What the fuck is Hillary doing in here with Obama at the same time?
Conspiracy. Or she was the Secretary of State. It was one of the two.
I think it's the conspiracy thing, I think.
And she was probably typing on an email in one of those photos. She was like doing one of her illegal emails.
Oh, sorry. There are 26 members. The VP, 15 department heads, 10 cabinet level officials, all except 2 of whom require Senate confirmation. Who's the second one? So your chief of staff doesn't require Senate confirmation. Who else? Do you know?
I think National Security Advisor does. I don't know. I don't know who the other one isn't, but I do know one is the White House Chief of Staff.
Oh, the president may designate heads of other agencies and non-Senate confirmed members of the executive office of the president as members of the cabinet. Okay, so those are people from his office of the president.
Yeah.
Huh. It makes sense that the Senate wouldn't have any say over your chief of staff, I think, right?
I think you probably make a pretty credible argument either way. Like, you know,
I think the executive office of the president, I believe, is the office that's created just to help the president manage the president things. But they shouldn't. I don't believe that office should do anything relating to like running the government insofar as like the individual offices, right? Like they're not making calls for the EPA or how to regulate something or how to implement legislation from Congress. So it makes sense that like if the president needs people to help him do his job, like the Senate's not going to confirm or refuse to have like your main guy that helps you, right, run your own office, right?
It's tough because like all these relationships are pretty incestuous. So for example, President Biden's chief of staff, or his first chief of staff, is really good. It's a guy named Ron Klain. He was referred to as the prime minister, and Mitt Romney referred to him as like the chief operating officer of the country, because the chief of staff, this is kind of an exaggeration, but to use as Game of Thrones reference, that's your hand to the king. That's the guy who speaks. Usually if the White House chief of staff speaks, it's on the president's behalf. Now, you know, the chief of staff can't, you know, issue a nuclear strike or anything. Like he can't take certain legal actions because they require the president himself. But basically the idea is if it comes from the chief of staff, the president might as well be saying it to you directly. So as a matter of fact, Cassidy Hutchinson, during the January 6th, that whole House January 6th Select Committee, she worked at the White House. She said that Mark Meadows was the boss of the cabinet. He's like, you're the cabinet secretary's boss. Mm-hmm. Now, constitutionally, that's not the case. They can't take direct orders from the chief of staff. But that just goes to show like how close the relationship is. So the chief of staff and those people they're really, really involved with interfacing with these cabinet level offices. And in some cases, they give direct orders. So again, and there's probably an org chart somewhere, but I'm pretty sure the National Security Advisor reports to the Chief of Staff. The Director of National Intelligence, I'm pretty sure, reports to the Chief of Staff, because if they're under the EOP, they ultimately answer to this guy, and they're part of the cabinet. So it seems like a clusterfuck, kind of like a spaghetti style of authority.
Yeah, I am clusterfucked. I'm mindfucked. Okay, wait. So there is a White House office, and it's an entity within the executive office of the President of the United States. And the Chief of Staff is the head of the White House office. But I'm guessing that's the executive office of the President of the United States. Either the head member of that is either the President or maybe the...
There's a formal White House office?
Yeah, because I've seen that written before, but then I thought, oh, well, maybe it's... I thought after reading this, oh, maybe it is the executive. But no, the White House office is an entity within the executive office of the President of the United States.
What the fuck is the difference?
I don't know. Where's the chart? Show me a chart. Why would it list this shit out? Just give me a chart. The White House office is under the administration of Joe Biden. The White House office, the head of the White House office must be the president, right? Then? No, not the White House. The executive office of the president must be the president, or the White House office is headed by the chief of staff, who's also the head of the executive office of the president. Okay, never mind. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll figure this out as I see stuff. I'll do it.
Well, if so, you should write a book on it because it sounds like the deeper that you look on Wikipedia, the more confusing it gets. Like I had no fucking clue that there was a White House office. Does it say what the difference is between it and the EOP? Wait, are you looking at it right? Is it on Wikipedia? Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, buddy. Anything else going on in the world of politics? How did your focus group go?
Really, really, really well. I thought it went amazingly well. Did you end up watching any of it?
You either cut out on me or I cut out on you.
Did you end up? Did you watch any of it?
I watched like the first 45 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I thought it went really well. I have a lot of ideas tonight for I think how I want to approach this. I got good ideas. I think it was a good idea. Yeah.
So this is, to be clear, this is not the final product. This is like one of the final steps before you drop the, I don't know if you call it a manifesto or whatever, but January 6th Explained. So this is like synthesizing all that information. You're selecting what stuff you're going to put in the final result.
Kind of. This was like my first draft of a, so there's a lot of stuff that has happened leading up to J6. I had to decide what to keep and what not to keep. And then this product ended up being it's about 27,500 words. It took me about 7 hours to present to everybody and go through all the feedback. I think that there are very clear, powerful storylines that emerge from this, and there are things that I've got. I'll talk about this later, because I'm going to end up running through all this in a few hours.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I'll go through it, because I think there's good stuff that I took from this, but I'll go through it later, yeah. Okay.
Last question. Do you ever feel like, now that you've dove deep into this, do you wish you would have done it sooner, given that it's 3 years after the event itself? Like, do you feel like you missed the boat on it, or that the impact, or do you think that the timing is right, given that the election is coming up?
I'm leaning towards the latter, because I think one of the big things that irritates me about this event is how much people have downplayed it and want it to go away. And so covering it at the time, my takes probably would have been pretty similar to, I think Ben Shapiro did a pretty good summary the day after, where he said this was technically an insurrection. One of the worst moments in U.S. history since 9/11. I think Ben Shapiro's summary right after was really good. It's the turnaround and afterwards, it's like very, very, very irritating, yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'll talk to you later.
Love you. Have fun.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Why are we cuxing? Hello? Oh. Okay, listen, all right? Lex has some issues with how he does content. But we can wish him a happy birthday, guys. There we go. Okay, fuck all of this shit. Fuck all of this. Fuck all of this. There is no cute chart. Just like a chart, you can't show me a chart. Nope. Okay. Fuck it. All right. Okay. Fuck all this. Don't care. Sorry. Russell Vought? Wait. What was the name of the company and the boys that made that Compound V? Vought. What? What? He was the director of the Office of Management and Budget. Okay. Anyway, sorry.
And budget. He's been called.
Oh, and I think it's pronounced Vote.
Russell.
I'd love coffee. Yeah. Great.
Meet Russ Vought.
Russell Vought, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget.
He's been called the most dangerous MAGA diehard you've never heard of.
I am opposed to the Department of Education because I think it's the Department of Critical Race Theory.
The Russ Vought were comrades in arms.
Formerly a cabinet member and chief lieutenant in the first Trump admin,
I want to thank Russ for doing an incredible job.
he now runs a group called Center for Renewing America.
An organization that I helped turn into the Death Star that is accomplishing all the debates that you are reading about. I think you have to rehabilitate Christian nationalism. You have the largest deportation in history, block funding for Planned Parenthood. I want to be the person that crushes the deep state.
True.
Vought is one of the key authors of the blueprint for a second Trump administration.
Project 2025.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but what's the point of having guests on anything else? It should really be just you and Dan. The point is to trigger the fuck out of you, okay? Next week, we have Barack Obama coming on. We're going to spend the entire time talking about Band of Brothers and how good it is to smoke weed and do drugs. That's all we're doing. And we're going to cut off Obama every single time he opens his stupid fucking mouth. Every time, okay? Just for you. And then I'm going to spend the first 10 minutes fucking with the cameras.
It's an ambitious 920-page blueprint.
Like eliminating the Department of Education.
The mass firings of civil servants.
Banning access to the abortion pill and further restricting abortion rights.
If you have 500K to YOLO at meme stocks, why won't you YOLO 100K at a car? Okay, I don't know if you guys have this problem. I have this problem. Doing shit online is very easy. Going out into the real world and doing anything, it feels like it takes 10 fucking hours to do everything. Like, if I have to go to the bank and do anything, I know I'm going to be there for 4 hours. Anything. Whatever the fuck I want to do, I know it's going to be 4 hours. And I'm going to have to, I've got to drive there. I got to find parking. Not too bad. 20 minutes, okay. Even though it's probably only like a 15-minute walk. Half the time I'll just walk there because like, why the fuck? Okay, so we drive there, do all that bullshit. Then when you get inside, there's going to be some stupid fucking line always, because there's always a stupid fucking line. I don't know why. I don't know. Motherfuckers don't have direct deposit, okay? But people will show up with checks to deposit. I didn't even know they still wrote checks past the year 2008, okay? Motherfuckers have checks to deposit, okay? They don't have their IDs out. The check isn't signed on the back. It's ripped in shreds, okay? Or there's some random shit. There's always only one or two bankers at the most who are also the slowest typers in the world, okay? Every single thing that they do, oh, grandma wants to deposit a $27 check. Sorry, I need to bring out the CEO of Wells Fargo to come and do a 12-step verification on the deposit, okay? There's 6 bankers that are sitting at their desks doing nothing, okay, that will be coming up and saying, do you need help? Do you need help? Oh, we can't help you. Just wait in line, okay? So wait in line, okay? Unless I need a banker. In that case, there'll be 2 people in line, and there will be 1 banker, okay, with 52 people there who are all trying to take out loans for add-ons to houses that they don't even own, okay? So it'll be the most complicated. Everything is just an issue. I don't know why. Everything is just so much time. So if I wanted to buy a car, I bet it would take me like 2 days to do it. I'd have to go to the dealership. I'd have to walk around, talk to some dude, fill out some bullshit, find the approval of all. It's just too much time. If I could order the car online and have it delivered to me with the plates done, the licensing and registration taken care of, then I would do it. But buying that car is going to be like 3 days of time, because then I have to go to drive it someplace to probably get plates and register it. Fuck all that, okay? I could buy $500,000 in CrowdStrike by pushing a button. I'd rather do that. Easy. My God. Fuck everything. And having to go out of my house to do anything is a nightmare. I finally got, sometimes I pay Erudite to like, hey, listen, I'll give you whatever. I'll pay you if you can go do this for my car. Even just my car stuff. Remember I told you my car got taken in to get new brake pads, And of course, you have to change the rotors every fucking time, by the way. I'm surprised they don't just recommend an entire fucking drivetrain swap, okay, with every fucking brake pad change, okay? Because apparently in 2020, the technology for rotors means that when brakes touch them, they fall apart, I guess, okay? To where apparently Kylo was saying that they won't even change the brake pads without changing the rotors too. Okay, cool. That's fine, all right? I hope they can rate me by proxy, okay? So I spent $1,800 for new brake pads and rotors because okay. But now, as I'm driving yesterday, my check engine light comes on again. How? It was just in the shop. And now they're saying, well, if you come back to do a diagnostic, it takes 2 days. What do you mean? You just plug something into the fucking OBD2 port and it gets a code. What does the code say? How does it take you 2 days to do this diagnostic? I don't believe this. I don't believe any of this. Okay? I don't believe it. I hate this city. I hate this place. I don't know. Would I have the same? I feel like in Omaha, it was easier to just drive and find like a shop. But maybe it's because of the area that I live in Miami. Everything is so congested. There's so many people and dumb things. Fuck. My God. Fuck me. I'm about to just sell this car and buy a different one. I'm going to buy a Civic Type R. And then if I wreck it, I won't give a fuck. Fuck me, though. Holy shit. So now Kylo says that there's a place that will look at my car, but they need like 3 days to do the diagnostics. I'm like, why? For what? It's just annoying as fuck. Everything here is annoying.
In recent weeks, the plans have become so controversial that Trump has been forced to distance himself.
They're sort of the opposite of the radical left, okay? You have the radical left and you have the radical right. And they come up with this, I don't know what the hell it is, it's Project 25.
Are you ready? I know nothing about Project 25.
Just buy a $40 OBD dongle. The thing is, I had a $600 OBD dongle before. I had the thing that flashes your ECU. I don't remember what it was called. Cobb, I think. But I think I threw it away because at some point I was like, I'm never because you can do these different ECU flashes, but one, I think it actually hurts your gas mileage a little bit. Or two, there's a super high one that you can do, but it requires 100 octane fuel. And I don't even know if there's 100 octane gas stations around here. So I think I actually just threw this away. No, it's not Cobb. It might have been APR. No, it was Cobb. I think it was Cobb for the Focus RS. But I'm pretty sure this thing had an OBD2 reader on it, so I shouldn't have thrown it out. I should have kept it. I can't believe I threw this away. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it's in a closet somewhere. But I looked in my car's glove compartment. I couldn't find it. I've got to have it in here somewhere. There's no way I would just throw this away, right? That'd be so stupid. $100 octane fuel Miami. Do they have these gas stations around here? I'm sure it's somewhere, but I'm not going to drive like 45 minutes away to get fucking gas for my stupid fucking car. Were you stage 2? No, I was stage ECU flash. That's it. Fuck that. Anyway. Sorry, we're watching this.
I haven't seen the document. I don't intend to really see the document.
But behind closed doors, Vought tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
That would be stupid, especially since... No, wait, wrong thing. What is Project 2025? The Heritage Foundation wrote this huge blueprint for policy direction, basically moving forward. And it has a lot of stuff in it that people are not happy about relating to like focusing on family related stuff and anti-abortion and like just crazy, like very, very like religious conservative policy direction that they'd want to take the United States. And people think that Donald Trump and his campaign are pretty heavily associated with it and that they'll take that direction in the future for policy. And people are worried about that. What is the Heritage Foundation? I believe it is a think tank. Right? Yeah, it's a think tank in DC. but they're conservative and yeah. What's a think tank? I believe a think tank is just a bunch of like policy wonks that come together and they write out like policy. They might work with people in Congress to suggest things. I think they might help people like write laws and do like research and, you know, kind of push policy. I think you can have think tanks that work more on the public level, like they publish stuff like the Cato Institute, I think is a think tank, right? There's probably some that work more publicly, like they push information out to the public, and there might be others that work a little bit more alongside members of Congress, I think, to like, oh, you should do policy this way, I think. What's a policy? Policy is when I fuck your mom in the throat 30 times. Isn't your card made to have a certain fuel, and going higher or lower is bad? I know lower octane is bad, but I think higher is too. Your car can either do diesel or I don't know what non-diesel fuel is called, but I think whether or not your car can take diesel or not will be determined by like the slot that you put the gas thing in. I don't think that a diesel fuel thing will fit inside the gas thing of a fucking I don't know what you call non-diesel fuel. I think they sometimes all have different ports. I don't know if that's true all the time. I know that I've been at gas stations where they won't let you put the wrong one in. The nozzle can't fit inside the port. There you go. I think that generally, I believe that cars today will automatically detect the octane that you're using in your gas tank. And if your octane is too low, the engine will adjust its timings accordingly. I don't know if that's always true, but generally you should use a high enough level octane for whatever your car calls for. I think if you open the door, it's usually written on the side, or it'll be in your manual, or you can just fucking Google it. I think that all the octane determines, I believe, is the detonation temperature of your fuel. The higher the octane, the higher the pressure and temperature the fuel can withstand before it explodes. In a car that is non-diesel, ideally you only want the fuel mixture exploding when the spark hits it. But if you use a low octane fuel in an engine that runs really hot with more pressure, then your fuel can explode before the cylinder is ready for it to, and then you can fuck your engine up really bad. So you always want to be using the high enough octane fuel. If you use a higher octane fuel, nothing should happen. If you use really, really, really high octane in a car that is like meant for, what is 87 the lowest, it'll work normally. It'll work fine. There's no problem with using higher octane fuel. If you lose lower octane fuel, I think you can run into, I think it's called pre-detonation, or your car will detect it and it'll just run not as good. But okay. Cato, why was I looking this up? This is a think tank, right? This is considered a think tank? Is it an American libertarian think tank? Yes. Okay. Isn't pre-detonation the thing that happens anytime you sleep with a woman? No. Pre-detonation is what happens when your mom touches my dick. Immediately. You sound like you have a very strong opinion on added ethanol in gas. Some people hate ethanol. Fucking hate ethanol. I don't have strong opinions on it. Some people say ethanol runs dirtier in gas or runs dirtier in engines, and you should never use ethanol. I don't know how true that is or not true. I don't have a strong opinion on it. I probably would have had a strong opinion on it 8 years ago, though. Okay, sorry. We are 1 minute 45 seconds through this video. Let's fucking go. Fuel doesn't detonate, it burns. It's a small difference, but it's technically not correct to say that it detonates. Is that true? It does more than burn, it has to explode, right? Because isn't the explosion of the mixture of fuel and air what causes all of your power to be produced in your engine? Detonation just means combustion. Don't listen to him.
I expect you to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman of Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against a brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting, he's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization, he's raised money for our organization, he's blessed it from the, I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Our investigation into Project 2025 began 2 weeks before the meeting with Vought, at a conference for religious nationalists in D.C.
The truth is, Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded American democracy.
Journalists from the Center for in D.C.
Why?
The truth is,
God, he looks like somebody, and I just can't think of it right now.
Christian national.
I think he looks like a politician in a movie. Like there's a movie and they have a guy that looks like a politician. I don't know who though. Fuck. I'll think of it.
Nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded American democracy.
Journalists from the Center for Climate Reporting have come posing as potential donors.
Oh, wait. No, shit, you're right. The guy from Iron Man 2. The bad weapons guy. The bad weapons guy. Justin Hammer. Oh my God. Wait, hold on. I don't even think this is close. How did you know that was in my head, even though it was so wrong? Well, actually, you know, does Holly ever wear glasses? Is it Josh Holly? Or what about... Wait. What's the name of the one nerdy guy in the Ghostbusters 2? Not Loner Box, but the other guy. This guy. No. Hold on. He's just a white guy in glasses. But no, this I think, yeah. I think so. Not even remotely close. You guys are haters. You guys are haters. And that's why nobody cares what you guys think. Because you're all haters.
Looking to meet those involved in Project 2025. They're not hard to find. The Heritage Foundation, the group running the project, are here. So is Vought's think tank. We make the acquaintance of Mika Meadowcroft, an author on Project 2025 and a close aide to Vought. He tells us that Vought is running the secretive second phase of Project 2025.
And the second phase, after the book came out, was to break down actual sort of policy packets and executive orders and agenda items and things like that. That's been supervised largely by Russ.
The first phase of Project 2025 was a 922-page policy book published openly. The second phase is a comprehensive, concrete transition plan for each federal agency. These much more detailed.
This guy is the rat fuck that hyped the crowd on J6, then went back inside and started running away. Correct. Holly was one of the chosen ones from Trump. He was one of the ones that was called out a lot in Trump's tweets. as one of the loyal senators that would help him for his little plot. True.
Plans are confidential.
Yeah. Because obviously you want as little of it to be FOIA-able, if you're familiar with the FOIA process, as possible. Freedom of Information Act, yeah.
The Freedom of Information Act allows the public to request government communications, but Meadowcroft reveals they plan to avoid these rules.
Yeah, the goal is, you familiarize all the transition team people with these plans, but you don't actually, send them to their work emails. Because then, you could just give the handbooks to everyone, be like, this is the game plan for the admin. Yeah. But if the press knows that that's what you're doing, that they're going to immediately just say, I request all of your emails from Heritage. Okay. You worker.
I see.
This is the last one for today. I'm sorry, guys, but hold on. A little bit here. Okay, hold on. I think you have to give me this one. You got to give me at least one of these, okay? Before the drugs, okay? He could be like his chubby brother. Chubby brother, at least. Chubby brother. Come on.
So, we'll see.
Interesting.
Meadowcroft offers to set up a meeting.
Oh, shit. Wait. Okay, no, this is the last one for real. Hold on. Actually. Taylor from PKA. He could be.
I see.
So, we'll see.
Interesting.
Meadowcroft offers to set up a meeting with his boss, Russ Vought.
You could put me in touch with somebody who looks after his diary or
Wow, Kitty Slayer 666, thanks.
Schedule,
Amazing.
So,
great.
So just tell me when to do that.
We want to meet the man writing the game plan for Trump's second administration. Vought believes that in his first term, Trump's agenda was frustrated by what he calls the deep state.
Project Veritas has poisoned me into thinking all undercover journalism like this is always incredibly misleading. How accurate or reliable do you think this is? I agree with you. I generally look for third-party corroborating sources, or I look to see what is the extent of the material that the original people publish. If you're willing to publish your full interviews and a whole bunch of other stuff, then I'm probably more likely to give it more credibility, but I usually look for third-party corroboration.
Vought believes that in his first term, Trump's agenda was frustrated by what he calls the deep state. So Vought is planning a radical centralization of government power under the president, firing civil servants and ending the independence of agencies like the FBI and DOJ.
80% of my time is working on the plans of what's necessary to take control of these bureaucracies. And we are working doggedly on that, whether it's destroying their agency's notion of independence. They're independent from the president.
Vought has also been preparing documents based on fringe legal theories, arguing the president has the power to use the military against protesters.
George Floyd obviously was not about race. It was about destabilizing the Trump administration. Right. We put out, for instance, a 50-page paper designed for lawyers to know that the president has...
Is that like a meme, that lawyers and liars? It sounded almost like he was going to say liars there, right? Am I hallucinating that?
designed for lawyers to know that the president has, the ability both along the border and elsewhere to maintain law and order with the military, and that's something that it's going to be important for him to remember and his lawyers to affirm. But
what an accent! Wow. ¿Quién es tu papi? I don't know what the fuck that means. How are you, daddy? Or something maybe. Is ¿quién who? I think ¿quién might be who. Who are you, daddy? I don't even know. Who's your daddy? ¿Quién es? Oh, it's who's your daddy. Fuck you. No one cares. I'm gonna fuck your mom. But thank you for the 50 gifted subs.
We've given them the case for that.
With loyalists installed in key government agencies and armed with his playbook, Vought believes a radical Christian nationalist agenda can be realized under a second Trump presidency.
Based,
for example, on abortion.
So I think the president's actually come up with a strategy that works, so long as you are giving people like me in the government the ability to block funding for Planned Parenthood, block funding for fetal tissue research. What I've told people is he had the most pro-life record ever. I've never seen him to stand in the way of a pro-life initiative that actually was real, politically and with momentum.
And for Vought, Trump's pick for vice president shows he's serious about pushing this ideological agenda when in power.
So I am very happy with the JD pick. I think it's transformative for sure. And think of him as a member version of what we do. So there's no think tank, no policy organization, no battle plan creator other than us for the worldview that I think Donald Trump has.
Who is the camera guy supposed to be, and why are these people opening up to them so much? Supposedly they tried to sneak in as a donor, and they're getting a breakdown on what they would be donating to, I guess.
And that JD has.
But as public backlash against these plans builds, the Trump campaign has been scrambling to distance themselves from Project 2025's authors.
It's complete and utter bullshit for any reporter to write that this is the way it is. The president's made it clear these people do not speak for him. They do not speak for the campaign.
But Vought tells us that behind the scenes, things are much friendlier. The Trump campaign recently picked him to write the Republicans' policy platform, making him essentially Project 2025's man on the inside.
I think the best example is like the campaign selected me to be the platform because of their views on my policy ideas, and they're not running from all of the negativity that I get from the press.
I see. So they haven't been spooked on you as a person, you don't think?
No, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be their transition pick because then they have all these kinds of stories. But no, the relationship is great.
The head of the Trump transition team has not yet been appointed, but Vought says that no matter who is named, he'll be able to hand over his Project 2025 battle plans directly.
If it's someone like a Stephen Miller or Bob Lighthizer, then all this stuff gets plugged right in. If it's not, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But all of it will be designed for a theory of the case that if a battle plan is out there that will do what he wants, there are the people like me that have his trust that will be able to get it to him in whatever position we're at, or I could be at Center for New America, but the relationships will be there, the trust level will be there.
Project 2025's Radical Phase 1 policy book turned into a PR disaster.
The director of Project 2025 has stepped down after facing criticism from both Democrats and the Trump campaign.
But Vought's Phase 2 battle plans, top secret and handed directly to the transition team, remain unburdened by the brand.
Wow.
And are you going to rebrand that second phase at all?
For what I do, the brand's not important.
And you're not worried that if it has Project 2025 on, he's going to go
no.
And you're not going to publish those?
No.
They go straight to...
Yeah, they're very, very close hold.
Okay.
Brilliant. It's been an education.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you very much. You can show us that out.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Crazy. If there is a difference between Nazism and fascism, I have no idea if there is or isn't. Do you think eugenics lines up more with the former or latter? Follow-up question coming. Nazism would be a very particular type of fascism, I would say. But keep in mind that when we talk about like government types or government structures or things like fascism or authoritarianism, not authoritarian, I'm sorry, things like fascism or socialism or democracy, all of these things can mean a lot of different things as well. They're like, they point you in a certain direction. It's not like a hardcore, delineating, all-encompassing and all-exclusionary like definition of what a thing is. But the Nazis would have been considered a type of fascist party that would probably be more prone to eugenics than fascists in general. But, Okay, I'll watch this. I don't care much about the 2025 shit. I know some people do, but there you go. If you care, you can feel something about that. Damn, they're digging out the high school pictures. Oh no. Oh no. JD Vance poses with 3 high school girls in a boys' restroom as they pretend to use the urinals. Are these the trans bathroom invaders that they warned us about? What's the first thing I've written? Oh, we're supposed to watch that Ryan Macbeth video. I happened to walk into Bedminster for Trump presser at the same time he appeared to be coming in from his round of golf. He's chatting here with My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell. I thought this guy like fell off the face of the earth. What the fuck? Oh no. Why does this picture exist? What circumstances have to occur to make something like that happen? Oh no, don't make me defend Vance. Or fight with chat. Kid, when you're in high school, you do a lot of dumb shit. You take retarded pictures of whatever. That perfectly sounds like something a 15-year-old, oh, let's take a picture. Let's go in the girls' bathroom, take a picture. Let's go into the boys' bathroom, take a picture. That sounds exactly like something some retarded fucking 15, 16-year-old would say. Like,